Hi, welcome back to Game Room Crafts. I'm Kelly. This is my game room. Let's play. So last week I did my tray, which was dark blue with stars. I have the kid pop up a picture for you. I'm planning on using it as a bathroom set for my guest bathroom. So I've decided I'm going to make a jar to go with it. I've taken a couple of pictures from the silk screen set that I bought, which is from Amazon, and I put it in the description box below. I've placed it as carefully as I can around the edge. Now, because it's rounded, it's a little tricky, but we're going to try our best. Last week, I used a makeup sponge. Let me flip this upside down so I don't get it. There we go. I'm going to try using the brush because of the small bits and pieces and because it is curved. I'm not sure that pouncing it with the makeup brush is going to do what I want it to do. So I'm going to try using the brush and hopefully I can get that same effect. Now this time, if you noticed, I used the Renfield Golden on the stencil as opposed to the Baltic Day Luxury Gold, which was pretty, do not get me wrong, but I want these stars to match the edges of that tray. So, wish me luck. Be right. I'm going to wipe these parts off using my fingernail. Okay. Now comes the not so easy part. The not so easy part is I need to flip this in and not have it go everywhere. So I'm going to cover this up because I don't want to spill it. I'm going to use it again for my cover. I'm going to peel that off. That did come out nicely, but I have areas that I don't want it to be gold. And you can see the gold powder went underneath. So try and clean it up as best I can. It's not going to be perfect. I know this. How do I know this? Because number one, I'm me. And number two, I'm me. I'm clumsy as all get out. And I'm not good at these fine details. I'm not. Kid says it's a patience issue. I don't know. Because I've, tried it slow, tried it fast, tried not talking to y'all while I did it. Microbrush. Try and wipe it off on a dry paper towel. I made a mess, huh? Like that star's messed up. Should I just take that one off? I don't know. I really don't know if I should just start over. Oops. Now here's the hard part. This is the flippy part of the jar, right? It wants to flip as I'm cleaning it. It wants to flip back. Like, please don't do that. I'm not done yet. Okay, that one star had to come off because it was completely messed up. Oh. Yeah, my impatience is telling me scrap it and start over. I have the other side. Maybe if I can get it to do what I wanted on the other side, then I can just wipe off the side that I messed up. Which, understand why I had trouble getting it all lined up properly. Got my finger in there holding it, trying to hold it down straight, but I don't know. One's better. There is one part of the star that I don't like, but I can deal with it considering it's ours. Kid, can you come give me an opinion? So this is the first one I did, right? Mm-hmm. I'm still not done cleaning it up. It's a mess. I redid it on this side. Now there is one star that's slightly off.
I like that one better.
You like this one better? Mm-hmm. So I just wipe this one off.
I think so, yeah.
It's okay. That's why I asked. Because I was kind of thinking the same thing, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just being impatient. If you people could see the look that she's giving me right now. Because she actually had walked out of the room, and when I said it, she turned around and walked back.
What?
That I wanted to make sure I wasn't just being impatient.
Well.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Mom. Okay. Now, I go like this. With a clean paper towel. And that's what I use to flip it in to hopefully keep the powder away from the rest of the inside, which I think I succeeded. I won't actually know until it's all poured. See down at the bottom, I saw that there was gold powder, so I just used my Q-tip and went down there. Hopefully that cleans it up. That's one. That's the jar itself. For the cover, we chose, actually the kid chose this one. Now, the design may be round, but the silk screen is actually square. That's what it's going to look like on the inside when we flip it out. Let's try it. Come in with my sponge. I'm trying to get in as much of that color as I can. There's that. Now, with my baby wipe, any exposed silicone, which means there's no star there, so there shouldn't be any gold there. And the rest of the cleanup I had done prior to removing the silk screen, but this one I just think that if I can get most of it lifted before I pull off the silk screen, I should be okay. Okay, we're gonna hope that that works. Now those two need to be washed. In the meantime, I'm going to take my baby wipe and go in where I know I didn't need gold. Like right there in that corner, right there on that ledge. And yeah, so that's what I have. I have one star up on the side over there and a couple of stars up on the side over there, and hopefully that translates. If not, like I said, it's ours, so I'm not super duper worried about it. I'm going to try and get this clean for the next time I need it. I'm not going to tell you to do this with your brush. Like, you just saw me spray it with isopropyl alcohol. I don't know what that does to the longevity of the brush, but as of right now, it gets my brushes really clean. Gets off all that stuff that's hiding in there that you don't see when you just, you use your switching sponge. Look what was hiding in there. After rubbing it on the white and there was nothing there. Spray it with alcohol, and that's what happens. All that hidden color comes out. What I'm gonna do is, somewhere I have written down how much this jar takes. I'm going to figure that out, mix up my resin, and we'll be right back. See you soon. So I don't know, I was giving this a look and I'm kind of thinking I want more gold. I know there's going to be blue, so I kind of want the edges to be gold. Problem is I keep messing up and going on the inside where I don't need it. What I should have done was put some paper towel down there so I wouldn't mess it up, but it's kind of committed now, or I should be. I'm just taking one of my lip brushes and I'm going around the edge, and because it's the edge, I'm going off of it and hitting the inside, which I shouldn't do. I will attempt to clean it up. This is a classic case of what I'm always saying about check your perspective, lift things up, turn it. If I just try to go around this circle without lifting it up and checking it, there's no way I would be able to see everything that I possibly missed. Like the smallest brush I have. Oh, see the clumsy? You see? That's me in a nutshell. Clumsy. Luckily, I didn't spill as much as I thought I would do. And I'm just, burnishing it in with the brush. Top and side. And come back in and see how bad it is. There are going to be little powder specks of gold. Like I said though, this is the one that first time making, and it's for my bathroom. So I'm not really I'm not being precious about it. Besides, if this is supposed to be part of a sprinkling of stars, then I kind of expect that there would be stardust. And that's the story I'm going with. It's stardust. Yeah, that's it. I messed it up. Sometimes you're using these Q-tips and makeup applicators and all that, and normally they're great, but every once in a while, you just need to get in there with a baby wipe. And if you just go in with the wipe and your fingertip, you usually see that. And while I'm at it, go ahead and wipe the outside. See that big white spot right there? That's that perspective thing. I wouldn't have seen it if I hadn't lifted it up. I lifted it up and I tilted it and I turned it, and it suddenly became glaringly obvious that I missed that spot. I'm not even sure that this is the side that I'm supposed to be coloring, considering what I want the final to look like. I'm going to come in to the center again. I'm going to kind of wipe it all in one direction. But circular. No, I'm almost kind of thinking what I'd like to do is kind of flick some gold all over it rather than trying to clean, like lean into it, you know? Kid, what do you think? Somebody's being a little silly out there, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna give him a treat and then you called me. What's up?
So I did this, right? At the outside to kind of match the edge of the, but you see how there's like gold? Now, I'm kind of thinking if I take the brush and I kind of go like that to it, I could like sprinkle gold dust over the, I'm not going to rub it in, just it'll be there.
Why
or should I just leave it alone? Because it's kind of already there.
Yeah, it's kind of already there, so you don't gotta do it.
So just leave it alone?
I think so.
It's going to be messy.
And?
Okay. It is our first try. All right.
I'm gonna give boy treat.
Okay.
He barked at me.
I heard that. Yeah.
He's so rude.
No. He was just making his intentions known.
Oh, and then he gave me a kiss.
See? How do you can't argue with that. Okay, so I looked and I looked and I looked and I looked and I looked, and in all my notes, I do not have a number written down for this jar. So there is some fuzz in here and I want it out. I think that's part of my paper towel. Yeah, got it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and mix. I'm gonna do 8 because although it seems large, it's thin. See that? So I'm gonna do 8. If I have to mix up more, I will. It's only blue, as we found out with the tray. That's easy enough to replicate. So that gets closed completely before I completely knock it over again. All right, so I'm gonna mix up that and I will be right back. Okay, so I mixed up here, actually there's 9 ounces of Bond Crafter 1-to-1. And the reason for that is because I poured too much resin in the cup. So I had to even it out. That's okay. I have other things that I can do with. This is the Recollections in dark blue. Same color I used on the tray last week. I'm going to put a good scoop in there because that's quite a bit of resin. Actually, there. And then I'm going to leave it here just in case I still didn't get enough. I think I did. So what I'm doing is I'm wetting that powder down with the resin that's on my paddle, and I'm pushing it down into the resin before I turn on my mixer because I don't want that poof of resin to hit me in the face. Now, I could have mixed the pigment in a cup with alcohol and then put my resin in there, but I never think about it until after the fact. So I just make sure that the pigment is wet before I turn on the mixer. And so here we go, kid. Cue the music. Oh, I did a big stupid. I spilled resin everywhere. Yet another argument for using parchment paper on top of your silicone. Our resin has been sitting here for a couple minutes, so I can see whether or not there's any powder floating to the surface. I don't see any, so I'm going to go ahead, scrape down the paddle, make sure you catch that bottom. It'll just hang out there. Right. Now, yes, my debubbler is not a huge vacuum chamber, but it does do the job and it will rise that level up. So I am going to split it. Okay, that should be good. And these are going to go for their trip through the bubbler machine, and we'll be back. All right, so this has been through the debubbler. It's 9 ounces. I just split it because they would have overflowed otherwise. So I think I'm going to do the cover first. And it's staring at me yelling, cover me, cover me. Okay, here we go. Right in the center. Let it find its space. Not too fast, not too slow. So if you notice, I did not spray the cover where normally I would have. I didn't because of all that mica powder that I put on the mold. Hopefully. Did I get enough? I think I might have. Oh, I hope that was level. Move that a little bit. It looks domed, so that's yay. That's a yay. I'm gonna marry those cups I didn't have to, but I don't know what I'm doing today. I had a spill. I don't like that. It throws me off for the whole rest of the project. It really does. I'm trying to get back on track. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Because we had 9 total. So I want to get it all in one cup. So if I have anything left over at the end, I know what I'm looking at. I can write it down in my little notebook, which is a great idea for people like me who just don't have the memory capacity to hold on to all the different molds and all the different numbers. I have a little folder, and like one page is all jars, and the next page is trays, and one is all animal friends. All right. Woof. Okay. We'll put it here. I'm going to try to get down to the bottom and give it a squish. So let me see how we're looking. Okay. So I'm just kind of squeezing, because where I say bottom, this is actually the top of the jar that you're going to be looking at when we take it out of the mold. All the way around to where I started, which was here. And I know this because I could see the stars from this side when I was pouring. Yeah, I think, I don't know if I'm going to have enough. We'll see. We'll see. I might actually have enough. Do I have enough to dome it? Because this does have a foot. Oh my goodness. That's like it. That's perfectly smurfy. Because it's blue, haha. Okay. One Crafter 121 epoxy resin. Dark blue from Recollections. The golden from Renfio for our gold elements. I'm going to put a little bit more because, as we all know, resin shrinks. I want it domed. And when I say domed, it's that little, when you look at it, it's that little bubble that if I put just a tad bit more, it's going to overflow. But if I don't, it's cool. Cover could maybe take just a couple drops. If it takes it all, that'd be great because, yeah. So if you get this jar, which I will link it in the description box below, it comes as a set of 2. It's this wider, shorter jar and a slightly taller, thinner jar, more narrow jar. So yeah, if you get it for this particular one, I would say definitely make up 9. And then you're going to look how very little I have left. You make up 9, dome it, you're good. This is going in my scrap mold. I'm leaving it alone because I domed it so much so that if I put alcohol on this right now, I think it may overflow. Which is not the norm for me. Normally I don't do that, but I'm watching it. I'm watching it for bubbles. Did you see me tap the side when I was pouring it? Just towards the top, because there is that little lip, and that's where bubbles are going to hang out, right there on that edge, that lip. So when I got to the top, I kind of tap, 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 tap as I continued to pour. Hopefully that does the job, because I'm not sticking anything in there. Normally I would go in with a silicone tool and go under the lip, but I overdomed it, which, I mean, that's what you want, but normally I would do that after the fact. Duh. So I'm going to clean off my tools and clean off my me, because if you saw me spill, you know I'm sticky. I left that in intentionally so that you could see that everybody does it. Everybody does it. There is a way to fix it. It just, don't panic. I did go, oh no, oh no, oh no. But don't panic. You can fix it. And just, really try not to get it on your skin when that happens. Just be careful. You don't want that on your skin. Either way, whether it's alcohol or resin. You just don't want that skin contact. So wear your PPEs. All right. We're going to leave these alone. I'm going to watch it for, see, I can see bubbles coming out there. So, there it is. Just quick flame. All right. Leave it alone. I'm going to let it sit here for like an hour, and then I will turn on my heat mat. I don't want to do it too soon because that can actually cause bubbles if you do it too soon. So an hour, then I'll turn on my heat mat. You saw me move my alcohol away because my heat mat is under here. So I move my alcohol away from there. I use and move anything plastic that could possibly melt away from there. And then I'll be good in an hour. All right. We will see you when it's time to demold. Bye. We're back. And these are done. Well, they're not hot anymore. They spent an hour sitting out, and I didn't cover it, and there's something flew in there.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Like a fly or like a hair?
I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. No biggie. Before I demold it, though, I'm going to give it a little bit of a clean. You can see that gold on the outside. It's all over my mold, and it'll be much harder to clean it once it's empty and floppy. Okay. So, dun 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 dun. Cover first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see here that little something. There's a right there. See that?
Ooh.
Yeah. I didn't cover it, and I should have. I let it sit out. There's also some dust here. I let it sit out for an hour before putting it into the heat box for 2 more hours. You know what? I just realized we put the stars on the inside.
We put the stars on the inside.
On the inside. It actually goes on the outside.
Oopsie.
Because I'm so used to the jar being, the cover being. Okay. We'll have to figure something out there. I mean, I like it, the little gold,
Yeah.
but
And then you open it and it's a surprise. We totally
there's a
forgot
surprise
to
inside.
open
It's like
it.
a cereal box. Yeah. That was the intention. Mm-hmm. No.
Did it work
So, huh?
though? Work though?
What?
Flip it. Flip.
It did work, but that wasn't the intention. The intention was it for be on the to be on the top. It's all right. I can either. You know what? I'm feeling this. I think when I moved it, I buckled it.
What do you mean you buckled it?
Like I
Oh no.
wrinkled. Come feel.
No.
Just run your finger over
It
the.
will bother me.
You bother me. That doesn't mean I don't pet you.
Had to phrase that.
Anyway, my gold edging came out nice. I didn't miss any obvious spots. I can fix this. I can either top coat it, which would fix this problem here, but I would want to find a sticker that would tie in. Do I have any star stickers? I have holographic stickers, but I don't know if they're silver.
Yeah. I don't know if you have any gold stars.
I don't believe so either. I don't
That's so
believe so.
sad.
That is. I was not thinking.
You what?
I was not thinking. Actually, if like I said, if I'm going to top coat this to make it even, I could again do the same thing that I did with the, sand this down, put the stencil on again, and then top coat it like that. I believe it would. I don't know. I mean, if I want to do it, I'm going to have to do it tomorrow because it's too late to do it now. Okay. I don't want to let go. I'm trying not to cut myself on the edge, the foot of the jar. Oh, okay. That worked. Let's see. Let go. Squeeze and twist.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah?
Yeah, nice.
I don't know if you can see that. And can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. There's a couple of them that went down, but like it was really hard because it's on a curve.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go too far up because...
Yeah,
but
that worked. Good job.
fitting together, it fits together nicely. And it because I put the gold around the rim, it does tie in with the stars on the bottom. Now,
No, it works either way.
should we try what I said? Because it's not even. It's not even at all. If you feel it, you walked away.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah, it's warped. And I think what it is when I moved it from here to the curing box, when I picked it up to move it, I might have gone like that without... Leave it alone, Mom. Yeah, so I think tomorrow I'm going to try that. I'm going to sand this down to try and even it out, which is not as easy as it sounds because I don't have a really good sanding tool. I'm going to have to use my Dremel, which is going to take a while, but it's okay. We'll get there eventually. I'm going to sand it down and then we'll try again with the stencil. But that's what it looks like in the meantime. We will come back tomorrow and give it a shot. I won't be able to show you the sanding part because it'll be done outside away from my camera rig and it ain't pretty. Plus, with all the dust flying everywhere, I do not have a good ventilation system there where I'm doing it, where it's outside. The dust will fly and cover the cameras. But I will bring you back and show you as soon as it's done being sanded. And we will go from there. All right? See you in a bit. Okay, so I have taken my top out and I used my Dremel and I smoothed that layer out there where it was wavy and the little divot that was up. So I got that out. Now what I'm going to have to do is do a top coat on this to bring back that shine. But before I do that, I want to get those stars down that I missed because I put it on the wrong side. So I stuck it back inside the mold just so that I have somewhere for it to sit while it's doing its thing. So we'll stick with the one that we chose earlier, which has been cleaned from the time before. Try and get it as centered as possible and rubbing it down good because I don't want air bubbles that the powder will seep under. And again with the Renfield Golden, I'm going to try our sponge again. You know, I didn't store it upside down yesterday. I spilled. I'm doing that pumps method again. That was like way more than I wanted it to be. I thought I was being cute. It wasn't. That's better than it was anyway. So now, if you recall, I like to clean off the outside before I remove the stencil, just to try and make it a little bit easier to clean up once I remove it. I don't have to be as precise when I'm cleaning this part as once I remove the stencil. So this comes up. Wow, there's a lot of stuff that I don't want. I guess it went under. Okay, so I don't like it. I'm gonna start over. It's the great part because I haven't set the resin yet. It's not a sticker, so I don't have to be worrying about, oh, I put it in the wrong spot. Wipe it down, start over. And now I have gold powder all on the back side of my stencil, so I'm going to have to clean that up and start over. I will be right back. Okay, I decided to try something new, and what I did was alcohol. And I've done this before where I used mica powder paint, right? I just take a little bit of the mica powder and mix it with some isopropyl alcohol. Wendy from Toonfish Crafts does this. It makes it much easier to be precise in your painting, but not have to worry about clumps and things like that. Now, I don't know that it'll work through a silk screen, but I'm willing to give it a shot. At this point, I'm willing to try just about anything because I want it on there and I don't want it, puffing all over the place. When you use a silk screen, you actually are putting paint on it and then like scraping it over the picture. So hopefully this works. And what we'll do is I'll go ahead and remove it and let it dry that way, which shouldn't take long because alcohol evaporates very quickly. I think that's where we're at. Okay, ready? Slow. That's much better. Much, much better. Close this up. Okay, and yeah, I'm going to do it like this from now on. That's the great thing about this community. You watch other people's stuff and they give you ideas that you never would have thought of, or they perfect ideas that, you've already been using it, but why not make it better, right? So credit where credit is due. The first time I ever saw somebody doing this alcohol painting with the mica powder, that was Wendy from Toonfish Crafts. Love her channel. She's one of those, I'm going to try this, and if it works, yay. And if it doesn't, I did it so you don't have to. So that's awesome. I think to a certain extent, we're all kind of like that. But yeah, she will try those experiments so we don't have to. Okay, so that's clean. The brush is almost clean. I'm going to let this sit for a while and let that alcohol dissipate, which is pretty much already done. But why take a chance, right? And then I'm going to mix up my resin. Now, it's not very much because it's just a top coat. So I think I'll do like maybe 30 and see where that gets us. I'm sure that's actually more than what I'm going to need. And when I'm done mixing it up, I'll be back. So I am mixing 20 milliliters. And I'm just using Bond Crafted 1-to-1 epoxy resin because that's what I have. Now, many other resiners will tell you that that's not what you should be using for a top coat. This is what I have. It works for me. I'm not in a position where I can have multiple types of resin. So I don't. I use what I have on hand. However, in the case of something that is too deep, where you should be using a deep pour, that is a disadvantage for me. I have no choice then but to split that into multiple pours. And, it is what it is. I love the art of playing with resin. Unfortunately, as we all know, it is not a cheap activity to do. The resin itself is not cheap. And then you have your additives, your micas, your alcohol, your ink, your glitters. Can't forget the glitters. All of that. So, not to mention your tools that you need to get it done, including your molds. So I use what I have and I make do. It may not be the best thing for the job, but it is doable. Okay, so obviously this cup is not large enough where I'm going to be using my mixer. Just mix it by hand, and you can see when it's ready to go. You can see when it's not cloudy anymore, when you're not seeing that cotton candy stringy effect in the resin. Now, because I cannot force myself to stir slowly, I try. It's always the intention. I mix a ton of bubbles in it. That's why I have a debubbling machine. Something like this, though, I will probably use my torch or your long neck lighter, something like that. Now, there is only one spot that I'm not happy with, but I am not going to mess with it because I kid you not, I will make it worse. Okay. So I think this is where we want to be. Let's see. I do, like I said, I do have a lot of bubbles. It is what it is. I have my lighter ready to go. I'm going to start in the center, pour it, and let it find its way out to the edge. I'm not going to pour the whole thing because I don't know that I'm going to need the whole thing. I probably will, but I don't know. I tell you that the grinding process was not fun on this because I have a teeny tiny Dremel. And so that's what I used. I used my grinding stone because I'm not patient enough to sit there with sandpaper and grind it, go through the grits. So what I did was I used my grinding stone on my Dremel. And then once it was level, because it was nowhere near level, there was a dip in the center. And that was my fault because I moved it. And when I moved it, I went like that. And then immediately, put it in my heating box, which basically just set it like that. Coming to the edge, remember, this has been out of the mold, so there is no seal. So yeah, it's probably going to leak down the side. I'm hoping not. I know I'm going to have to add some more, but I just kind of want to let it work with what I have before I add any more, and then see if I have fish eyes. This is that case of perspective. I want to make sure that everything is covered. So I am lifting it up and moving it. And I don't know if you can see this, but some of my powder has moved and floated to the top. And I think that's because I did the alcohol painting with it. I'm okay. It's okay. It's not a big deal. They're stars. As far as I'm concerned, they're shooting stars. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Welcome to my page. I will always find a creative answer as to why things worked out the way they worked out. Trying to get close to the edge as possible on all the way around. I was going to say on all sides, but it's a circle. I really don't see any obvious where I'm missing. Let it sit for a bit, see what happens. I do have a little bit left. Now, I know there's going to be cleanup. I can see it. It's on the side. It is what it is. I think I'm good. Okay, so I have a little bit left. Actually, I have about like 10 left. That only took like 10. So let's go with this. This is Iris from Recollections. It seems like I use a lot of Recollections lately. I have other glitters, believe me. For some reason, those colors seem to be speaking to me lately. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Iris. Maybe I should be making a flower. Let's see. I have a couple of roses. Peony first. And I didn't bother putting glue or anything in here. It's, it's an extra. This will probably end up on the top of a jar or something somewhere at some point. Okay, that's not full yet. And it's because I want to kind of open it up to get it down into the petals. Okay. Wow, I still have quite a bit left. I don't think I have enough for the big rose. We'll do the small one. Open it up. Get in there with the alcohol. I have a feeling this one will separate because it's bigger. And I didn't put any glue in there, so. Okay, so now this comes into my scrap mold. And that's it. That's what I do with my scrap molds. I pour it in, rub it over, and then clean up. Now, these will have to be covered. And I knew that was going to happen, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. It has to be covered because yesterday I did not cover it. And then I ended up with a bunch of stuff that flew in there that was undesirable. So I will cover them and I will come back to them in about an hour. And then I'll turn on my heat mat and leave it alone, probably until dinner time. So we will see you when it's ready to demold. There's not going to be a big reveal, but we'll be able to put it all together and demold our flowers. Okay? See you soon. And we're back. And it is actually the next morning because I didn't feel like taking it out last night. And it's done. Now, I did notice that maybe it pulled away from the side right here. And that's the side that I was cleaning up. So I think I might have wiped off. But I can fix that. Anyway, go ahead and take it out and see. I hope it didn't go inside. Because if it went inside, that would be bad. Oh, it did go inside. Just a little bit right there. That's okay. That's, yeah, it's just a drip. So that's actually fixable. What I could have done to stop that is instead of putting it back in the mold, I could have done the painter's tape around the corner. Yeah, it dripped over here too. So I'm definitely going to have to redo my side. What I'll just do is I'm going to file this down and then take my chrome pen and fit in any empties. This is weird because that's like it's missing, but there's no resin there. So I don't know how that happened. It's weird. Anyway, that divot gone. And that little, I don't know what it was where I buckled it. There was a crinkle. That's gone too. So that worked to an extent. Have my extras. That's a pretty rose. Look at that rose, kid.
Okay.
And I have a, oops, I think this one's a peony.
Peony?
Peony.
You should get a kitten and name it Peony. Peony and Pepsi.
No, I thought we were going to name it Periwinkle. Or was that the dog?
No, that was a cat. We should get 2 cats.
Oh, is that?
Periwinkle, Peony, and Pepsi.
I don't think Dad wants even one cat because he's already had his buddy cat. And
then we get a gerbil and name it Percy.
That's pretty. There's overage that I need to knock off, but the flower came out beautifully and there's no bubbles. It's beautiful. Now, if this was blank, I would just pop that in the middle right there. But yeah, I like that color. That's that iris from Recollections.
It's hard to see from this angle. No, because of the light.
The enthusiasm is just out of control.
I am pinned by dog. I am pinned to the bed. Pinned you again.
Okay, so that's how you fix the unfixable. Yes, there are little mistakes and I will have to clean it up, but that actually isn't that bad. It's just, that's a like fingernail file it down. Or actually what I can do, because there's like this needs to be covered, I can do that with the chrome marker and then just go over it with resin and let it keep that chrome marker in. And then that way, this doesn't need to be recovered. Okay, so now this is how this goes together, like this. Cover and front. I'm happy. But even more so, last week's project, our tray here, and they go together, and that will go in our guest bath. I have another jar, the jar that comes with this as a set, and I asked the kid if she wanted that because it's basically her bathroom, and she said no, she didn't. No, you don't care. It's not necessary.
I don't even know what I would put in it. Like, it's not like we regularly use Q-tips.
True that. All right. Thank you so much for joining us here in the game room. I had fun the last 2 weeks. I learned a new technique thanks to Claire's Crafty Corners. And also Toonfish Crafts, how I got that coloration in there without a lot of cleanup necessary. Any idea what we're doing next week?
Resin?
Yeah. Probably.
Recording a video?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I believe we are approaching the Lunar New Year. And so we're going to be doing something for that. So stay tuned. It's going to be kind of fun. Trying something new. All right. We will see you here again next week. In the meantime, don't forget to play. See you soon. Bye.